Hail Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here today talking about Episode 3 of Season 1 of the Disney Plus Star Wars show, The Acolyte. Episode entitled, Destiny. We open with what becomes an episode-long flashback 16 years before the events of the first two episodes on the planet of Brendok. Young Osha is sitting under a banta tree. That's the source of the poison that May offers to Torben in episode 2. Young May walks up, saying that whenever she needs to find Osha, she comes to the banta tree. They talk about an upcoming ritual called the Ascension. May is 100% on board. Osha is reluctant. We end with a massive fire that apparently wipes out everyone except the Jedi, May, and Osha. Saul rescues Osha and takes her to Coruscant to train as his Padawan. Saul thought that May fell to her death, but she obviously survived. Heads to the banta tree to find Osha. Osha's not there because she's on a spaceship, leaving little kid May deserted on Brendok, a castaway. All that said, Paul.
Yes.
What'd you think of episode 3?
So, I didn't like it as much.
Yeah. Yes.
You know.
That's...
Now we chatted a slight little bit about it. That you kind of put the blame on the kids.
Again, they're kids. I'm not going to be like,
yeah, they're kids.
I hate kids, but they are professional actors as well. And that was tough to watch.
I think they could have accomplished the same thing by focusing more on the adults. So yeah, I guess in some ways I agree in a way. I mean, because some of the things that I wanted was more of a sense of the culture and the time and place and what's going on.
The culture of the coven and everything.
And where they are too. So how other people in that area, if there aren't any other people in the area, why?
Yeah, I mean, we hear in Dara say they thought it was uninhabited. I mean, she's just saying that, but also perhaps that means it's uninhabited except for this fortress in a volcano or whatever.
Yeah. But why make it? They established, I guess, that yes, they're sort of outcasts, or they need a place of their own.
But very true. It's like amorphous forest planet.
It would have been nice to have a culture still having to deal with them, or whether it was positive or negative. And I don't think they did any favors by having Osha and little May's other parent. They should have worked on that character more. So one note, someone as important as that.
There were a lot of
That's just anger.
Things.
Yeah.
Even the kids, like, I like this, I like this. Okay,
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's clear that they want to keep some sort of mystery, and even though it feels now obvious that Saul is the one who killed everybody, Saul and his buddies killed all those people, and not the fire. I mean, if it's not that, then I will stand up and applaud.
We do see there is a clip from one of the trailers that shows the Wookiee Jedi, Kelnaka, igniting his lightsaber and attacking Torben. Now, since Torben is dead at this point in the present tense of the show, I believe that must mean this is from this moment. And also, I think it's probably how Torben gets his facial scar, is he got attacked by Kelnaka. I think the implication is that Kelnaka is under the control of the Coven.
Interesting. Yes.
Okay, so maybe that, I don't know. Somehow there's an attack. Maybe Torben attacks the witch that's controlling Kelnaka to make her drop her possession. The witches respond. But I feel like you're right. I think the Jedi, probably in their minds to defend themselves, end up killing the witches, and then they choose to cover it up by blowing up the fortress. Yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
That's probably what it
is.
Why
not?
The idea that May set a little fire on a door and it blew up the fortress. What is this place made of flash paper? I mean, come on. So I think that's a misdirect. Yeah.
But maybe that's this is it's still a long time ago. Maybe this was the creation of OSHA. It's
that's
like,
right. I mean,
you should have had fire exits that were more clearly
marked. I joked
marked.
about the health and safety problems last time, but sure enough, it's like, look, what could have been a simple fire turned into everyone died. By the way, this is like a little aside, but I was watching a History of Chicago thing the other day, and they're talking about what was at the time the Iroquois Theater. And it was a major theater fire that happened. And the thing was, it had just opened, and we have new asbestos curtains, and whatever. They were trying it was like, but they obviously, they needed OSHA, and they didn't have OSHA. Yeah. And there was a big fire, but the part that was like, there was a huge series of bungles that made for a lot of people dying. But the one in particular, I'm like, oh no, is, so... They had fire exits. Great. Yeah. Hey, look, sign, go to the thing. But of course, you're on upper levels, right? So you're in the theater. You're gonna go to the fire exit and then go down the stairs to get out into like the alley or whatever. They hadn't installed the stairs. So what you had is people opening the fire exit to literally nothing but a drop to the alley, and then getting pushed into the alley by people behind them, and like 100 people died just falling out of a fire escape. Like, no! No! So anyway, yes, OSHA needed to be there then, and OSHA needed to be here now. Save everybody with the handrails and fire exits. But yeah, it was, for me, just the kid actors. It's a bad choice. It's fine to have them, like, for instance, episode 1, I think it was. Okay, we had the little scene of like, oh, remember when we were kids? And we see a little flashback. It's like 30 seconds. Great. I'm fine with that. An entire episode where you're relying on these kid actors, and I mean, it really felt a lot like, little kid Anakin, right? Back in like, yippee! This is pod racing.
I wouldn't say it was as bad as that.
Okay. I don't know.
At least because, like, there are times when one of them was sad or one of them was angry or whatever.
Okay.
At least it feels like real emotions were supposed to be expressed.
All right, you're saying on the level, like,
none of this. I'm happy to be a slave, crap.
Okay.
So that's
They didn't
it's
say
a low
yippee.
bar, but I think they got a little better than that.
It was a little bit low, like I'm gonna eat 4 spice creams was kind of the same energy as I'm gonna kill you. It was like, okay, I don't. Anyway, but yeah,
because I'm not sure that to me, I'm more inclined to blame it on the script.
Well, right. Oh, I'm just saying, if you're the director and you're like, okay, well, look at this objectively, maybe we should limit the amount of time we have these actors on the forefront of our show.
Right. Well, yes. Write it differently. I think they did try to bring it into the story and making this whole thing about a sect who weren't Jedi. So they want to use the Force, and they're that's why the Jedi are the enemy, and so that's good. I wanted more. You got to give me more. I guess you're trying to keep that a secret or whatever, so you really got to make up for it now, in my opinion, the fact that you didn't have this discussion before. It's like, I want to understand why this culture is separate and why they're mad at the Jedi, instead of just running around being angry and all that. We could have heard from more of them about how they're afraid of stuff. Why keep it a secret? Especially when, it's guessable. It's not much of a mystery. I guess the mystery is like who that guy is. That's their mother.
She gives the Palpatine, when Palpatine is trying to convince Anakin to go to the dark side, he says something like, people consider this to be dark and unnatural. She says that exact line.
Right.
And then the idea that the other mother is like, the lengths we went to have these kids, I don't think we want to talk about what we did. And so my guess is because as we know, well, no, like that was how Palpatine co-opted Anakin with like, oh, do you want your wife to live forever? I know the secret of life or whatever, immortality. I'm guessing maybe they wanted to. There's no kids other than those two. They point that out, like,
correct.
oh, we're the only two kids here.
Yes, we brought life.
So I think they wanted the ability to make this cult, have a generational thing, and so some version of a Sith helped them out. So
I don't know. I'm wondering if it really is something more inclined to the clone thing, where you have two females who make a child, and how do they do that? And maybe that was what was done, because isn't that another part of the thing where clones are?
I mean, there are.
They're like forbidding clones or whatever, and so.
I'm just thinking because we have an unidentified Sith-ish.
Except no one said Sith, and
no one's not
and also
Sith,
too, and that's a contentious thing. So they'll be better off if they haven't tried to do Sith.
Yeah.
Right, because everybody's going to be like, "Oh, it's not supposed to be Sith.
Canonically
it's not supposed to be." So they'll be better off if they didn't do it.
If I'm trying to defend the choice of the show, what I would say is, maybe this cult discovered some of the the origins of the Sith stuff, but they didn't. The Jedi didn't know about it. So it was just like, we met this dark Force user who showed us how to create these two kids.
So maybe that's it. I just feel like their philosophy is all similar to the Jedi, only different. Like, this thread thing,
The thread thing actually sounds a lot like the metaphor that Robert Jordan uses in The Wheel of Time. It's just
sure.
like it's like the destiny and the fates of people are a weave in a pattern, and that some individuals can affect the pattern of the weave more than others. But anyway, but you're right. It's like their version of the Force. They have their own metaphor.
So it's not like make sure you're angry and make sure you're
right.
Make sure
Strike
you use
me
your
down with all of your hatred. So
it wouldn't be a surprise if they really developed that. It'll be a surprise if that's the case to me.
So we're on board of saying that we think, because actually Leslie Headland mentioned that this was a Rashomon style story. So hence we've just seen it from Osha's point of view.
Okay, sure.
And she didn't get to there's a fire,
right.
And then I crawl through this tunnel. When I come out, there's a giant fire. Yeah. So obviously the door fire started the fortress fire. But obviously I would say that's not what's going to happen.
Sure. Another thing that ticked me off was the whole May. I guess it's from Osha's perspective. So May really seems like a psychopath. It's like,
right?
She's
I'm gonna kill you.
Butterflies or whatever, and I'm going to kill you. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I mean, it suggests that there's a light side, dark side to them, like a split, but they're not. It's like it's sort of like this is in keeping with the poor way. Yeah, really, this is really Anakin-like, right? Because it's sort of like, let's make a kid seem like they're like crazy enough to kill people, and it's sort of like, wow, that's not easy to do. That's right.
With good actors and
yeah, right. I mean, when they're doing the ritual and then they're constantly poking each other throughout the ritual, I could just imagine the director saying okay, we want to make sure they see you poking each other in the shoulder, so just do it as much as you can through the whole scene. I mean, it felt like something on a kids channel. I don't know. Maybe that's what Disney Plus is looking for. I don't know. But
I don't know. I can imagine maybe that'd be a good lesson for the other Jedi to not beat the crap out of them. It's like, see how annoying they are? Oh, you're not beating them up. Good little Padawan.
Right. Actually, I just thought about this on the Rashomon style. We're going to see another version of this.
Sure.
Remember in episode 1 when Saul, maybe it's the first time we even see Saul, when he's training the younglings, he says, "Don't trust your eyes. Your eyes deceive you," or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a little meta commentary.
Right. That's going to be a callback you're suggesting. That's the Chekhov's lesson.
Right.
Okay.
Well, here was something that I get it. I mean, I think it's probably built into Jedi Padawan lore and stuff. But you've got this situation. It's a big issue where little 8-year-old Osha is going to decide her future.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm not, like I get actually in Jedi lore that's too old, right? It's too old to begin Jedi training is 8. But
Yeah.
I would suggest it's too young for you to be like, I know what I want to do with my life. And Saul even says when he was at 4 years old, right?
Yeah.
When he was 4, he knew he was different, which probably means that's when he was taken to Coruscant. So, I mean, I'm like, okay, I'll take 4-year-old me, Paul.
Yeah.
I think I may have been 3. It was 3 or 4. Let's go with 4. It was probably 4. My family took me to visit a dairy farm. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a cold, rainy day. Step inside the barn, nice and warm.
Sure.
The place smelled like fresh hay. The cows are standing in these stalls with like blankets on, and they're like just contentedly chewing cud. And so like a couple of days later at bedtime, my mom's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I responded, I want to be a cow. Because I was like, it's a great life. There's no responsibilities. People take care of you, endless food, blankets.
Sure.
And so, anyway, point being, you're stupid at age 4. You shouldn't be trusted to make your life's decisions. This is my life's ambition. I'm going to put aside my parents, everything, because at age 4, I'm like, I want to be either a fireman or a cow or a Jedi. All right, fine, you'll be a Jedi. Like it's a little weird to let the little kid decide.
Right. Well, sure. That's the Star Wars lore. I mean, this whole, you're too old to train. Oh, you're too old. That's part of the Star Wars lore.
Yep.
It would have been nicer.
It's not endemic to this show.
It would have been nice if the sect had been like, you know what? That's too young.
Yep.
It would have been like, no. Sorry, you want to do it. Sorry, you're too young.
If you want these kids, you could come back when they're teenagers and, they have some life experience. And sure, if you want them then, and obviously they wouldn't because they're like, well, they're way too old. But that's on you. That's on you, Jedi. That's not on us.
And really, they should be leaning into that to show how goofy and crazy that is. They should, the fact that, oh, look, we got ourselves some kids. We made some kids that we can corrupt. I mean, raise, indoctrinate. I mean,
oh, crap.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, that's, they're not setting a better example.
So we are in agreement, though, that we feel like May didn't just burn the place down, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, okay. Because, that's the implication. Oh, look at that. She burned the whole place down.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to see eventually, I guess, another episode of Kids.
I know, that's what I thought. We're gonna do another flashback. In fact, I think Leslie Headland mentioned episode 5 was gonna be that. Maybe that's the episode where we have yet another all-kid episode.
Yeah, just think if they'd been smart and just made it half of this episode, and then had the next,
even that,
then you could have had the other half of it be from her perspective. Of the other one's perspective, then you another half of another episode, as opposed to an whole episode.
Whew. Yeah. It was. I was checking my watch. I mean, this thing is only 40 minutes long, but I'm like, how much longer?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this thing is just interminable.
Yeah.
So this was bad. I
4 or 5.
Enjoy it. I mean, I feel like a 5 is too high.
Wow. That's why I said 4 first.
Yeah, okay. I didn't hear 4. All right, yeah, I think 4. 4 is probably a good... I'll throw 4 in there. I like Saul still.
Since I was high, it feels like I might be 5.5.
Yeah, you were an 8. You said 8.
Yeah, right. Well, I said 8 and then 7.
And then 7.
So I can give this a 5.5.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Although, man, actually, I mean, I wasn't even crazy about the fights that they had. I mean, it's just a lot of force pushing.
Yes, exactly. The force pushing is the easiest use of demonstration of the force. You and I could do that. It'd be like, hey, Paul, watch me use the force. I'll do a force push, and then you can move backwards. Hey, we did it. Do something a little more creative. It's a test of your use of the Force. I'll do something that's easy to do. You can mime it. All right. Yay.
Yeah, but I don't even think you need, this. I think the whole thing was kind of ill-considered. It would have been nicer to get some, more intricate bits about other parts of their ceremony, and that terrible scene when the kids are talking and their hair is being done, and it's like you might as well just have droids in that scene doing their hair. It was like, oh my god.
I guess one thing that was interesting to me, the chant that the cultists were using was like, what was it? Something like the one, the two, the many, or something like that. Just the fact that you've got the rule of two for Sith. I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe there's a Sith-ish element to that chant. I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, this is a tough one, and we'll just see. I guess we'll see if they can rebound. I mean, I'm a completist. I like to, we start a series or a season. I like to finish it.
Wow.
So we'll keep going. We're gonna keep going. For now.
Man, wow, this is almost so bad that it makes you question whether or not you want to continue.
It is. It's that bad. It's pretty bad. I mean, like for instance, if it was just always going to be the kids, like if we're not ever going to have it in back to adult May and Osha, I'd be like, where's the tap out button? I don't know. I feel like so. I suspect that is not the case. And so I am willing to continue on. Although episode 5 sounds like we're headed right back to little kid land. I'm like, oh man, please don't.
Oh, I would think that we're more likely to. Oh wait, that's right. This is 4. What is this? 3.
4. Okay. That was 3. So 4's next. So I think we're gonna hit Kelnaka's planet next. Go find the Wookiee and probably kill him or whatever. We'll see. Yeah,
you're better off waiting to 5 or 6 just to give you even more of a palate cleanse.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm saying they would be better off doing that.
They would. Yes, they would. All right. So we will be back talking about episode 4, as well as the Lazarus Project, and next week's House of the Dragon episode 1 drops. So we're gonna do our best, get all these things in. So thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir. And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye.